The former Maltby Colliery site, a location with a long history of coal mining, is currently undergoing a reclamation scheme. This site has sparked significant health and safety concerns along local residents, including risk of land contamination and public injury within the area. Compost-like output, or CLO, a processed waste product derived from organic waste materials, is commonly used in land reclamation projects due to its ability to improve soil quality and support plant growth. However, while CLO offers benefits in enhancing soil structure and fertility, it also poses potential risks to both public health and the environment. The composition of CLO is not often fully transparent, raising concerns that it may contain toxic elements such as heavy metals, persistent organic pollutants and other hazardous substances. Over time, these hazardous substances could leach into the surrounding soil, water systems and air, threatening local ecosystems and public health. CLO has been identified at the Maltby site containing visible contaminants such as glass and plastic. Additionally, water leaching into the soil has been reported. Both issues have previously been raised with the Environment Agency, which is responsible for permitting and enforcement at the site. However, the EA has yet to conduct an investigation. Earlier on today, I did forward on some photos showing contamination and leaching, just to give you a bit of an idea. In addition to concerns surrounding CLO, the site's coal mining history adds further complications. Coal mining operations often leave behind a legacy of pollution, including heavy metals, hydrocarbons and other contaminants. These pollutants, which may have remained in the soil for decades, continue to pose risk to both the environment and human health. Back in 2014, the Council resolved to carry out planning and enforcement action on the owner of the site for the implementation of MRF fines, stating that the importation of material to the site represents inappropriate development in the green belt, so similar action could be considered by the Council regarding the importation of CLO. The Maltby Colliery site is openly accessible by foot, and this is an active site covered under quarry regulations, and it's frequently visited by individuals on off-road, bikes and quads. A large lagoon on the site also showed signs of bank instability, raising concerns about public safety. This has also been highlighted in a report which has put measures in around how far dumper trucks go towards the end of these lagoons. Recent testing on adjacent land designated for Highfield Park housing development has confirmed the presence of land contaminants, raising serious questions about the safety of this area for residential use. While remediation of this land for housing is the responsibility of the developer as a planning condition, a proposed allotment site within the same area has not been included in soil testing. Growing food in a potentially contaminated soil presents a direct public health risk to residents and highlights the broader dangers if no actions are taken. As these concerns continue to mount, local residents are calling for greater transparency, comprehensive testing and a stronger regulatory oversight of the reclamation process and the materials used in land restoration. So the Council notes CLO compost-like output is classed as a waste product with no set standard to regulate it. CLO is not permitted to be used on agricultural land. The testing carried out by the developer at the adjacent Highfield Park housing site has highlighted contamination in the soil, indicative of what may exist across a wider area. Testing of the soil at part of the adjacent Highfield Park housing site intended for use as allotments have not yet been carried out. The importation of MRF fines from Hatfield Colliery to the Maltby restoration site back in 2016 resulted in planning enforcement action by RMBC. And point 5, the Council holds powers under the Environmental Act 1990, Part 2, to create a strategy on contaminated land and the investigation and enforcement of contaminated land. So what we're looking to resolve, and I'll try and cut it down short if you've read it. So point 1 is to review and update the Council's land contamination strategy. Now I've struggled to find, the only one I can find is pretty old, it's is about 10 years old, so unless there's a newer one, I think it's probably time with changes in legislation, with the regulation, that we review that and update it. Point 2 is it's calling upon the Environment Agency to carry out an investigative testing on Maltby Colliery site to ascertain what contamination is present and what actions should be taken to reduce risk, including to human health. We've also requested the Environment Agency to carry out a legislative review on CLO with a view to further regulation of that waste material. And actions for the Council would be to review the use of CLO at Maltby Colliery site and determine if the importation of that material could contravene current and any future planning permissions on that site. To review public access and security measures to the Maltby Colliery site under restoration, reviewing the stability of the lagoon banking, referring local concerns about the dangers posed to the public to the Health and Safety Executive if appropriate. And finally, review the current plan for allotments on Highfield Park, taking appropriate actions to investigate and remediate the land via planning or via responsibilities under the Environment Protection Act 1990, Act Part 2A. Thank you.